Oh.
Oh, we're live.
Welcome! I don't know the intro. Let's go, guys. Welcome to episode number 39 of My Cup of Tea. Another quick one before we jump into Fast and Furious. We're doing commentaries for the Fast and Furious saga, the Fast Saga. What a title. So you can catch that immediately after or afterwards, not live on the channel. Also going to be editing highlights for that, but if you want to join us for weekly commentaries, we're trying to do those. A lot of fun. And joining us, as always, for said commentaries and shows, we have Carson.
I genuinely thought you were welcoming us to the Senate chambers of the Galactic Republic.
A new galactic empire.
So yeah, good to be back. We're not gonna bring up Star Wars. We got other
that's
stuff
Friday.
to
Not
talk
to-
about.
Not today.
Not today.
Friday.
But
Friday.
you know, we're back on the Fast Saga. We're back on some news. You know, corporate mergers are fun and scary, and we're all gonna be
Monopolized.
Well, if we're not already, I don't know. So it's not all doom and gloom, though. There's some good stuff, and I'm excited to talk about it. Let's do it.
Also joining us, we have Evan.
Yeah, this just in. Hyperspace Hype is merging with Paramount Plus. We're going to do the after show
First
for
look
Survivor.
deal.
Sponsor, baby.
Thank you
Use
very
the-
much.
Use code TIRED in the description. Get 50% off the first month.
Hell yes. But yeah, I'm excited. It was funny because earlier today I'm like, we're going to have a little bit of news, but then like more and more stuff kept dropping today. So I'm like, wow, we actually have some stuff to talk about, which is very exciting.
All right, so I think we shall jump into the leading news before we break down them trailers. Anya Taylor-Joy is Kraven the Hunter. I really was dude. I mean, she was like trending, man. How can you blame me? You know,
She's trending every day in my mind.
fair enough. Hey, Noah.
No, what's up?
This man called me
What's
out
up,
for reading
King?
the name wrong.
We were just talking about you. Good things. Good things.
Yeah. But no, okay. So Aaron Taylor Johnson is cast as Kraven the Hunter in Sony's standalone Kraven movie. Bad idea. I've said from the beginning. It's just I don't understand any of these.
It's funny because it's hard for me to actually like. Yeah, I am going to doubt them because I do think this is a bad idea. But I thought the same thing about Venom. I was like, Venom is a stupid idea. How can you do a Venom movie without Spider-Man? And it makes $800 million. Granted, that's Venom. Venom's a much more bigger IP than Morbius or Kraven.
He's like the most popular Spider-Man villain.
Exactly. So I give that credit. And it was Tom Hardy. Had a good release date. But it's funny. Morbius is coming out January 2022.
What's with this January thing?
And then
both Morbius and
exactly.
They're
Kraven-
taking it back. They're taking back the month.
taking
in the
what
name of
back?
Blade.
It's still not a
because
good
it's
look.
the death of sin. It's the graveyard for cinema.
I don't know. Evan's gonna come in or Escape Room released in January.
That's true.
The
Escape
hidden
Room
gem.
was great.
Split
That
came out
movie.
in January. I mean,
Yeah, very
It did,
true.
it did.
So there's been a little bit of here and there. Bad Boys for Life, January.
There you go.
oh, what's that?
Uh,
Was with Chris Finest Hour? Is that what it was?
Finest Hours. Is that January?
Finest Hours?
It was like January, February 2016. Yeah.
I think it was the last week of
Is that
January.
a Ron Howard
Yeah.
movie actually?
Was it?
I don't know, but it was Disney. No, didn't
Yeah.
Ron Howard do the whale movie in the Heart of the Sea?
Oof,
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Movie was boring.
Let's see. Yeah, I own it, but I haven't seen it.
Of course.
Wasn't Tom Holland
No
in it,
surprise.
I think.
I want to see all of Nathan's collection of I own it, but I haven't seen it. It's like 20,000 movies.
I bought an impulse where my dad wanted to watch something.
Nice. But yeah, so release date aside, because I think that's like not good news. But it's probably like what? It's January. It'll probably make its money because not a lot of movies are coming out in January, especially blockbusters.
Except for 2023, right?
2023, so probably going to film early next year. But that aside, casting wise, Aaron Taylor Johnson, yeah. It's good casting for Kraven. I don't mind it. I think it's solid. It's just the concept in general. What
Yeah.
the hell is Kraven without Spider-Man? What can you do with the Kraven the Hunter movie?
What's
It's a
even the
white guy
conflict?
hunting people.
Spider-Man is the greatest hunt. That's the thing. Like
Who is he hunting? If he's hunting Venom, that'd be awesome. But like,
that would be cool.
What is he doing? What is he hunting?
They
What's the
were
antagonist here?
They were
know.
sharing around a comic of like Kraven like standing over Venom like unconscious. Like
That would be cool.
It would
I
be
kind of theorized that when they were thinking of doing Kraven, but now that Venom was like such on the rise right now, I'm like they could kind of merge the two of best worlds here, whatever it's called, and do Kraven hunting Venom. That'd be a cool crossover. That would make a lot of money. But now it's just Kraven in standalone, so you got to try and be sympathetic with the guy who just is famous and hunts people and hunts wild animals.
And it kind of has to be origin, which is again just kind
boring.
of, you know.
Yeah. What can he do with this character? And granted, I haven't read a lot of Kraven comics aside from I read him in Ultimate Spider-Man. That's where I got my first look at Kraven.
I watched the '90s cartoon.
90s cartoon,
That's such a
Ultimate
nice-
Spider-Man.
It is like honestly, the '90s cartoon really is a great encyclopedia for Spidey stuff. I mean, they,
It really is.
they did the Spider-Verse like in the finale. Like,
Yeah, it's very comic accurate, that show. It's funny how a lot of the 90s stuff is very comic accurate compared to a lot of the movies these days.
yeah.
But yeah, so I just don't know what they can do. They're going to have to try and make him sympathetic. He's going to have to hunt somebody that's not interesting because his most interesting hunt is Spider-Man. And that's not who he's finding, or Venom. So I have no idea. And are they going to make it like... Are they going to make him the bad guy? Or are they make him a good guy? Because even like in modern day, like people don't really like hunters in modern day at all. It's kind of looked down upon. So how are you going to make this guy interesting? I don't know. You have an uphill battle.
And it's God, who's directing it? It's
Oh, we have a director?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Let me look it up.
It's the director of Triple Frontier.
Oh,
I liked that movie.
Yeah,
it was
it was
okay.
me too.
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Kraven the Hunter. Let's see here. I don't see a director.
Was Pedro was Kraven?
Oh wait, okay. Directed by J.C. Chandor.
There you go. Yeah.
Triple Frontier. That's who they got. I mean, Triple Frontier. I liked it. Solid.
Mhm.
I'm not looking at that movie and say, give this guy another movie.
Also, I don't know who wrote this movie either. That's another big question.
All right, gents.
No, one more thing before you go on your rant.
Oh, Nathan is
The
right.
one thing that excited me about this story is
He already knew.
is one of the reporters was like, yeah, the reason this casting accelerated so fast was because Sony execs were really impressed with the
yes.
footage from Bullet Train, which I am hyped for because that cast is like Knives Out level stacked. Like there is everybody in that movie.
It's like the action movie version of Knives Out with that cast.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. Actually, I'm pretty
What?
sure. I think they're in the
Hey!
same
No
movie.
way.
I think they're in the same movie.
Is
I
that
could be
allowed?
You're
totally
lying.
wrong.
You're lying. Is that in their clause? Don't they say like, I don't want this guy within 50 meters of me?
And just like, I'll be in it, but I have to be the killer of them.
They're probably on good terms. I don't know.
No, yeah, I'm sure. They share children. Like,
I haven't seen
don't
Mr.
know.
and Mrs. Smith in a hot minute. I
Oh,
love them.
I'm sorry.
We should
I
commentary. We
You
should.
should.
I mixed it with
Isn't Vince Vaughn in that?
He
Okay,
is.
here's
He's
the
good.
cast. It's Brad Pitt, Sandra
Okay.
Bullock, that's who I mixed up. Aaron Taylor
Commonly
Johnson,
mistaken.
Lady Gaga, Logan Lerman, Zazie Beetz, Michael Shannon, Brian Tyree Henry.
Ooh.
There's
He
so
did
many
okay.
people in this movie.
I forgot Brian Tyree Henry was in Eternals. I'm like, he's in this too? I'm like, this guy's in everything.
Godzilla's
yeah, and
still fresh
then-
in my brain.
Hiroyuki Sanada's in it also.
Whoa!
Dude, it's
That man's in
crazy.
everything right now.
We just talked about him the other day. Yeah. Oh.
I, mean,
I
he's
am
great.
so hyped for this movie. Anyways, so not related to Kraven, kind of related to Aaron Taylor Johnson.
But yeah, you said they saw his scenes and they were like, we got to get
They were
this
like, so that's just towards hunting rabbits.
guy. It's like
Oh
a
my
drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's like a Wind River level drama.
Yeah, Wind River version of
Wind-
Kraven the Hunter.
Oh no. Okay, Nathan, what are we getting in this movie?
Yeah, Nathan.
What's
hit
going
it.
on?
Let's see, how does this connect to the Spider-Verse? How can we have... Well, apparently, Marvel's chill, which is having Marvel characters and actors just not syncing. Not kidding. I really don't have anything. Actually,
it.
I really don't. There's because I don't have a trailer or anything to go off of. I don't have any rumor or speculation. I remember I could have sworn Kraven was going to be the Spider-Man 3 villain, and it would have made sense from the identity outing aspect.
1,000%, yeah.
But on the flip side, if this is supposed to be in the same realm as Morbius and Venom, which has Michael Keaton in the Morbius trailer, I'm just like...
You're right, yeah. I keep thinking like Venom is in a totally different multiverse as Homecoming in the MCU, but Michael Keaton's in both of these, so they're in the same universe. Oof.
I don't understand, especially since like Venom takes place in San Francisco, which is where Ant-Man takes place.
And Venom 2 is taking a lot of it and is in New York. They're moving to New York with the whole prison scenario. There's a lot of scenes in the trailer in New York.
Oh yeah, okay.
With the not just a prison, but just like it looks like Carnage escapes to New York.
Well, I better get fucking Parker on the scene with the camera.
Yeah. But, so it seems like Venom or the Sony, what do they call it now? The Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I don't know.
Yeah, SMCU. Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, SMCU. They're trying to make it, and it's seemingly like off the
Sony Universe of Marvel Comic. I don't know.
Off the heels of one movie too. They saw Venom do $800 million, and they greenlighted all this shit off the hopes that they can replicate that success.
I still don't understand how, like, for the longest time there was like Black Cat and Silver Sable as a movie, and then they're like, we're gonna make them separate. Why?
Which is weird. I mean, I still think Black Cat could do really well. Silver Sable, get the hell out of here. But
I don't understand.
That's weird. But Black Cat can do really well, especially like with a good actress on board. I can see Black Cat doing okay.
One thing I have intrigue in right now is Spider-Woman, and I guess Silk on Amazon, but I don't know where that's connecting.
I mean, for them, I don't know why you don't have it connected to anything in the MCU. Just have your own contained universe and have like a Miles Morales or a Spider-Woman or a Silk be your main Marvel character, and then you're good.
That's true, and that also is an interesting question. Like, do you see Sony ever making an adjacent connection of MCU now that Aaron Taylor Johnson is a lead villain?
I see what you're saying. No, you're right. I think because like he's Quicksilver, but granted,
I mean Gemma Chan is in Eternals.
Yeah, Gemma Chan,
she was in
Mahershala Ali. Who was the girl from Civil War and in Luke Cage?
Not
Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, Viola Davis. What's her name? Fudge. Whatever. But she's like in the Netflix and the MCU, so they've done that. And then Gemma Chan. Granted, she was in makeup, so people hardly recognize her.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, they look so drastically different. I mean, like when you look at Pietro's look versus like a Kraven, or even just like I was specifically looking up for the thumbnail. I'm like Aaron Taylor Johnson Tenet because he was like super. I couldn't tell it was him for a second.
I didn't know he was intended to the. You guys told me.
I
was like, oh, he's in. That was him in Tenet. I didn't realize. Yeah. Granted, there was so much stuff going on. Yeah.
Temporal pincer, mate.
I forgot he has an accent.
Yeah, I need subtitles for that movie.
Red band forward, blue band backwards.
Carson auditioned for Tenet.
I know, right? Yeah. Somebody get Christopher Nolan online.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really know like how things are gonna roll. Again, it just
seems like they want to do
Spider-Man adventures are fun with Spider-Man. Like,
right. It seems like they're going half in on something and half in on another thing because one, they kind of have to dance around this little universe because it just makes way more sense for Spidey to be integrated in the MCU right now. But also means that they're just going like using characters because they have them, but then not fully committing to what those characters are about because they can't integrate the main part of those characters, and
feels
so now we're just in this gray
area. But they can. They own Spider-Man.
They do.
I know they're. What is taking them so long?
I don't understand why they're thinking like, oh, well, Marvel is using Spider-Man in their world, so like we can't exist adjacent. You can. You can just like tell your own contained adventures.
You own him.
That's what the comics do. You
literally had a whole contract last year where you said we're going to take them from you guys.
I know it can happen occasionally, but like when's the last time you were like, oh, I'm going to pull up this Captain America comic. Oh, Kraven's here. Oh, Venom's here. No, that's not really common. Like, it's in the Spider-Man comic, telling its own.
I think the problem is I don't know. Like, I think from Kevin Feige's perspective, he doesn't want to be associated with
1,000%.
So by voiding that and saying, "Fuck it, we're gonna do everything," you kind of put that relationship on the rails, and then you don't have your guaranteed non-flop machine over here, and then it's like if you just I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think they kind of put themselves in a hole with the whole Venom success of it all.
But would you want if it was a perfect thing where they just went all out and said, okay, we're just gonna exist over here, whatever, Marvel can do its thing as well. Would you want Tom Holland being in both and just doing all of it, or would you just want a whole new Spidey altogether?
I think they would want Tom, even though I think the ideal choice would just to make a new Spider-Man. But it's too late now because of the one thing that's a wrinkle in all this is the Michael Keaton of it all, because that's confirming that this is connected in some way. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to make it connected.
They could still void that. Nobody
they
knows
could.
that
You're
but
right. You're
us,
right.
you know?
They could easily just void it by saying boom, here's Silk, which is on Amazon for some reason.
Yeah.
But you can have your Silk be your main character. Hell, she got bit by the same radioactive spider as Peter.
That's what I'm wondering. Why don't you actually get a protagonist? Because there's more protagonists in the Spider-Man universe than just Spider-Man.
The antagonist, right?
Right. So why would you lead with all these antagonist stories as the front run? I don't know, and then not use a Spider-Man character?
Imagine having these same antagonists, having Venom, Morbius, Kraven, but also having your main protagonist, having your Silk fight off against Morbius.
Why would they? I don't understand why they didn't lead with that. And then you get a fresh casting because, and it's just like I don't.
But I think for them, they realized, okay, we have the Spider-Man rights. We already gave a contract with the MCU, with Civil War and Homecoming, which was a huge success for us. We want to keep doing those solo Spider-Man movies. We're making billions of dollars off of those. Why stop that? At the same time, we want to make more money. So, besides having Spider-Man, what else can we do? Oh, we have these villains. Let's have our Venom. Let's have our Morbius. Let's have our Kraven. Right. That's their idea, because they want to continue making those billion-dollar Spider-Man movies. But for me and you, it's just, it feels like they can just have it. You can have another Spider-Man character. Like you said, there's tons of interesting protagonists.
What I think is also interesting is I don't think Morbius and Kraven are guarantees that, like Venom, that are going to make money. I do not have any confidence whatsoever for them to make the same money that Venom did.
I agree, especially in January. We're talking about the profitability of these next couple of movies. I don't think Morbius or Kraven have that innate we gotta see this in theaters kind of thing.
I think Morbius does $350 million
at best.
Honestly,
at best, it is so hard because I think 350 would make sense for a normal release date. But
right.
Post COVID, 200.
But honestly, how much do they spend on this damn thing?
I think not much. 90
the
to
same
100.
As Venom,
90 to 100. Yeah.
Okay, but still, it's
I don't know. But Kraven, I just don't see much profitability. I'm very interested to see the plot synopsis for Kraven, because I just don't see what they could do with somebody who just hunts things. He's a pompous celebrity who hunts stuff, and then figures Spider-Man's going to be his biggest hunt, and that's where he gets popular. Yeah, we can hear you, buddy. Can you hear us?
Every day I wake up and my Wi-Fi's trash. Yeah, I hear you guys.
Cool. So that's kind of about Kraven.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird, man. I can already see that Carnage is gonna do well. Just because Carnage is finally at the big screen, and then Sony's gonna be like, "Oh, look at our money, we're doing well," and then they're gonna go forward and "What happened?" again for the third time in a row. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's very weird that I just think it's weird that their first foot forward was all these villains, without having a clear understanding of this is what we want to do with the actual Spider-Man character, other than we want to continue.
I don't know why they're dying so hard to
so weird.
They're dying so hard to achieve that Sinister Six in some aspect, as if it's their own a successful Avenger team. No, it's supposed to be
it's
biggest
once we
obstacle
assemble
for Spider-Man.
Once we assemble it, what's good?
Who are they gonna fight? Are we doing a heist film? What?
Are the Sinister Six
Ocean
is saving the world?
See, I thought they were going to be leading.
Octopus 6.
I thought they were gonna be leading to Sinister Six, but now I just don't know. The whole multiverse angle in this Homecoming movies, and then the Venom, Morbius, and Kraven, all of which aren't really in Sinister Six. I think Kraven was in the first iteration of the Sinister Six, maybe the second. But even then, I'm just like, I just don't see them leading up to
they can
Sinister
do whatever
Six.
lineup they want now, but
Yeah, they can do whatever they want now. It's just that Kraven is one of the out of all the Spider-Man villains to do solo movies off of.
At this, I mean, I don't know. It feels like we can like. I feel like they're trying to get to Sinister Six in the MCU because we have plenty of villains set up, and that would work against Spider-Man. But then, like in the realm of just Sony, I don't know, like what they're just like for funsies. Let's just like do this dark, edgy thing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Morbius right now, and the dude who wrote Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, and Gods of Egypt wrote this movie. What is that? Why is that appealing to you?
Oh no!
And then
they got
have I seen any of those movies? I think I saw Dracula Untold.
And then they got Daniel Espinosa, who directed Life in 2018, but like, which is okay. I didn't watch that movie.
It was fine,
but it's like
horrible ending.
They're just not attracting like any like I don't
talent. Know. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of talent. Even with the Kraven Hunter Triple Frontier, that's what you got. The guy who did Triple Frontier,
like,
is your guy.
Is your boy? Like,
and it's so weird. I think the most out there choice was Andy Serkis, and even then he did Mowgli and some other movie that nobody else saw.
And then it just seems like such a contrasting breath of fresh air to be like, Olivia Wilde, Spider-Woman. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
do that, please.
And then after even that, it seems like that's coming after Kraven.
Yeah, Olivia Wilde's got like 3 movies.
Because Kraven has a release date already. Olivia Wilde Spider-Man is a rumor, I think.
Yeah,
no, it was confirmed.
Is it official?
It was announced. And it's like an interesting thing because like there are like Spider-Woman standalone comics that like function. I mean, even Venom, as like oddball as it is, he has his own like standalone run. Granted, that was after being Spider-Man introduced, but still,
decades, yeah.
There's no. I don't know of any common Morbius or Kraven standalones like.
Right.
And if I think of a Kraven standalone story, it's primarily centered around, like Kraven's Last Hunt, and that's involves Spider-Man in a big factor of just like taking him out. Like, what's the point? And it's a very dark, suicidal tale.
It's a dark Spider-Man story, not a Kraven story, too.
Yeah.
I don't. They should just be doing animation until they really want to like swing.
Right?
Something.
It's so crazy to me.
If they wanted to do these things. Absolutely animation.
Their biggest accomplishment in the last 5 years was Into the Spider-Verse. One of the most beloved animated movies of all time. Not even Spider-Man. Animated in general.
It is my favorite.
Oscar.
It is my favorite Spider-Man movie. Like
easily. Oh, definitely.
But they don't. I mean, they're doing Spider-Verse too. But like,
but even then, the animation takes a long time. But granted, Pixar's cracking out how many animated movies every other year.
Right.
And that's just Pixar. They're doing like 2 movies a year. Give us all these other animated projects that Sony can just dive into, but they're not doing it. It's crazy to me.
It's so weird. Potential. It's also so weird to think that like if you look on like the animated Spider-Man side for like TV shows, that is run by Disney because they own the rights to that. Like Sony only has like the live action movie stuff.
Disney has the TV and toys, right?
Yeah, like they have comics and licensing.
Well, who has animated TV? They only can do.
No, Disney has the animated for Spider-Man stuff. I guess not like theatrical Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
So Disney can make an animated Spider-Man show right now without
they have.
Sony's consent.
They've done it twice.
Yeah, they can. I think
they did Ultimate
right
Spider-Man and then another Spider-Man iteration.
Yeah. Wasn't Spectacular Spider-Man? What channel was Spectacular Spider-Man on?
Was
that WB64?
I feel like it. Yeah, something like that. Maybe even probably not Cartoon Network. I don't know, but it's like it wasn't Disney.
Okay.
It's weird though. Like just thinking because I always just like see different stuff, and I was like, you go watch like an Avenger story, and it's like, hey, that's a Spider-Man character, another Fantastic Four. What's going on here? Like they can do that because they own the comic book property distribution, and just not for the theatrical adaptations.
Yeah. Very interesting. I would love to be a fly on the wall in these Sony meetings for their possible next ideas.
Yeah. Not to mention, they're like one of the only major players without like I mean, they're an arms dealer at this point in the streaming game. It's like, why are you trying to straggle the depths of your IP when you could be focusing on what really like the three things that you do good: animated Spider-Man, and creating like Quentin Tarantino movies. Like, just go do that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, like you said, in terms of streaming, like they're bringing their things to Amazon, to Disney Plus,
that big Netflix deal.
Netflix. Yeah. So, because they have no streaming service, imagine Sony Plus. That would be wild. So yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
But I guess since we're talking about streaming, we can talk about the Amazon MGM deal real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to that.
So, what's the value? I think $8.5 billion is what the deal is sealed in at, which is insane. Which most people have said that's way too high.
They're overdoing it on purpose, right?
Yeah, and most of it hinges on James Bond rights, which is a huge franchise, obviously. But as I was saying earlier today in chat, it's like we just were talking about with Spider-Man rights. It's probably like the second most complicated rights thing because the Barbara Broccoli is like the famous Bond producer. Their family owns the half of the Bond rights. They control all the merchandise, all the general merchandising rights.
Okay.
The creative control of future installments and the right to co-produce any future installments. And MGM only owns the domestic film release rights for the United States and the right to produce the new installments, help fund them and produce them and profit off of them. And they also own, like, if they were to do a Bond theme park or something, they own that kind of stuff.
MGM does?
Yeah. But it's like, so the Amazon buys it. People are like, oh, Bond's going to go to streaming. I'm like, hold it, wait a minute. First of all,
Amazon does theatrical movies.
Right. Amazon Studios has actually been pretty good about putting their movies in
better than Netflix, arguably, right?
Yeah.
Sound and Metal had a month of streaming, or a month of theatrical, then streaming.
Yeah. And I also think about, what was that movie?
Late Night,
which had like a month theatrical run in the heat of summer, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Did pretty well, actually.
Did pretty well. But they put a lot of their movies out. Yeah. So first of all, I was like, okay, Bond. It doesn't mean that Bond's just like going to streaming from the jump. I think it's going to be in that same window.
Who would do that? What studio would be like, hey, we got Bond, let's do it, Amazon Prime? Like, nobody would do that. It's like, you're losing money. Exactly.
And so yeah, there's this whole thing of like, okay, what is it going to mean for the Bond right? The main thing is there's a lot of hurdles for it to get there, but all the Bond library will eventually end up on Prime, which is huge. So
I can't wait to go watch Thunderball.
You said that because of the Last Night in Soho trailer.
I totally did.
You did, yeah.
I was thinking of the first Bond that came to mind. I was like, Thunderball? I mean, I have the recent ones on DVD, so I don't really... Who goes back and watches old Bond movies?
My grandparents.
I mean...
Really? Let me go watch Sean Connery. No. I'm going to watch Casino Royale. I'm going to watch Skyfall. That's about it.
That Pierce Brosnan one with the bad wave in the back.
I love that. Is that Never Die?
Yeah.
Never say never again? Or something?
I think it's with Halle Berry.
Yeah. That's a blast. Oh, that's the one where the guy, like covers his face like the Asian dude, like makes himself into like a white guy or something.
Yeah,
like that.
what is that?
Isn't that the one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I haven't seen the Bond films properly, so this is.
I think it's the white guy turns into an Asian guy. It's really weird.
Yeah. When was this movie released again?
2004. I don't know.
Hell, 2008. Robert Downey Jr. Oscar nominated for playing a black guy. Gotta love it.
Anyways, so there's a ton of stuff with the Bond things, but obviously No Time to Die will still be released pretty much normally.
That's already
45-day window.
That's already
because people forget that Bond makes bank worldwide in a lot of other countries besides the United States. Like,
do you know how well does that do domestically?
I'll tell you.
Is it?
Skyfall was the last like big hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I remember.
Spectre still made.
I think 200 domestically.
Spectre had a
Oh wow! It only made two. Yeah, Spectre only made 200 domestically.
Ooh, I'm a beast. I'm a beast.
But remember that Spectre had a $300 million budget because they went over budget and.
What did a Quantum of Solace do?
They had to redo that third act.
Are we gonna do the Craig films for commentary leading up No Time to Die?
I would love it.
We can do the good ones.
I
haven't seen.
Really?
What's it called? What's that middle one?
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Were they going into the desert?
I haven't seen it.
I technically have seen Casino Royale at like.
Oh, you're going to jail.
I saw it in theaters at a very young age.
This guy's already in Disney jail for not seeing Beauty and the Beast, so he's already.
Yeah. Don't say that on air. Caught in 4K. Goddamn. Caught in 1080p. I paid for this. No, actually, I remember, I was taken to the theater with some friends to watch Casino Royale as a very young child, and all I remembered is the ball busting scene.
Came out in 2008.
Yeah, I was still
Noah. Casino Royale is a masterpiece.
I was right out of elementary school, or in it.
Pull up Noah's comment.
Yes. Boom.
Yes. Hell yes.
You right. I mean, from what I've seen, and Eva Green's in it, so obviously I'd love it.
One of the top 10 action movies of the decade, easily.
The opening scene alone, just insanity.
Love
the opening scene is crazy.
The black and white, and the chase.
No, I'm talking about the chase.
I
forgot about that first, but I love both of those things.
I love both of those, right? The black and white, then it goes to chasing. It's too
good. And they're on that crane, dude.
So cool. The parkour. Woo, cinema. Yeah. But yeah, I like Casino Royale. I love Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace is bad. Remember, that was made during the writer's strike of 2009.
Yes.
So that's why that was a mess of that movie. And then
wasn't
then Skyfall,
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre.
Yeah.
And now No Time to Die.
Let's go.
We're back. My boy Rami gonna kill it.
Fukunaga. Yeah.
Fukunaga does not miss. He's.
Everybody, go watch Maniac on Netflix. This is one of the best limited series of all time.
Go watch True Detective Season 1 if you haven't seen that either, because that's also a masterpiece.
But yeah, No Time to Die, I think that's fun. MGM also has the Rocky and the Creed stuff. So Creed 3 is in development, coming out next Thanksgiving. So that's going to be interesting to see how that gets released.
Mm-hmm. I found it interesting just thinking back, because I'm pretty sure MGM had a hand in some Lord of the Rings stuff. I thought
The Hobbit. They
did The Hobbit.
Really?
They either I don't know if they actually financed. I think they were just in charge of domestic release. I'm pretty sure. Let me tell you.
I know it was primarily a New Line and WB. But,
yeah,
I thought it was Warner Brothers.
Or maybe they were Internet.
Well, yeah, that's the top one. WB and New Line Cinema.
Production companies make my brain explode.
Dude, it's so complicated.
There's so many.
And that's your modus operandi, right, Carson? That's your. Aren't you involved in that shit?
The what?
The companies and businesses and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's my bread and butter, but it also makes my head explode every day.
I remember trying to Vudu has this rule that you can't redeem barcode movies for Disney films, and I was like, all right, well, this is a Disney film, and it was but it's Miramax, which is owned by Disney now, and I was like, why?
Wow. So it's interesting that Amazon overpaid for this, because it's funny. People were commenting how Disney paid $4 billion for Star Wars.
They paid $72 billion for Fox, didn't they?
72 for Fox?
Pretty sure.
Fox was a whole studio, though.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a million. Is MGM not a studio? What?
I mean, yeah, it is, but.
Oh, I guess MGM did team up with New Line to make
Hobbit.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know about that. But yeah, I don't think this is going to change things a bit. It's just interesting how a lot of these, we didn't talk about it too much, but a couple of weeks ago, AT&T dropped off Warner Media, and Warner Media was teaming up with Discovery. It's just so interesting how all these conglomerates are uniting in the vein of streaming, theatrical releases, how that's going to confuse everything.
Is Disney gonna buy WB?
Oh god.
I know.
Is Disney gonna own DC?
Another quick scary thing is
Should they?
is MGM's library is a lot of classic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Many of which have physical releases, and a lot of people are concerned with not only the streaming wars heating up, but now Amazon in control, that these movies are going to be vaulted, similar to some of the 20th Century Fox content that's been rumored and kind of to the vault. Which is
scary. Which is why I love HBO Max. Please sponsor us, HBO Max.
It has the longest or the most content pre 2010. I
still haven't gotten to it, but there's tons of classic Asian film that I haven't gotten to on HBO Max. Hitchcock films, Kurosawa. Just some 1920s, 30s, 40s movies that I just really want to watch. And HBO Max has it. I can't do that on Netflix. I can't do that on Hulu to an extent. So I'm very hopeful that Amazon just dives into that. Why not? Just have all those classics on streaming. You could have a whole separate thing on Amazon Prime. And Amazon Prime, please change your UI. Please. Please. It's trash.
The one thing that's good about it, the one thing I like
Are you going to defend it?
Is the thing when you pause the show and it tells you who's the actors in the scene.
It.
I was like,
oh, dude.
You did everything else wrong, but this is amazing.
Okay, but when I did that, it spoiled me of an actor that was about to
No!
And I was like,
It can't spoil it because as soon as the scene changes, it shows you who's going to be in that scene. So it's like if a big reveal is coming and you pause it, and they're like, "Who's the killer?" And you pause it, and it's like
killer.
Oh,
whatever.
Chris Evans is in the scene. You're like, "Oh my god, he must be the killer." Spoiler alert. But just like
spoiler alert for Captain America's first. No.
Yeah. But it's just like, oh wait, I kind of wanted to I didn't want to know that reveal because even if somebody's in a mask or voicing over the character, if you pause it, it'll be like, oh, this is so and so. It's like, oh shit. Yeah. But I do love that feature. It is a very good feature. I'm always pausing my phone, who is this actor? Yeah, let me look it up on Google.
Especially with animation, I pause Invincible. I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah. What happens if I pause Invincible and then they're like, oh, everything seems fine? J.K. Simmons, I don't know.
Yeah, you see J.K. Simmons is coming in. You're like, oh crap, Omni-Man is in the scene. Oh shit.
I don't know yet. I'm about to watch, but
oh yeah, great show.
I just heard Omni-Man gets crazy, but yeah,
great character. But yeah, we can break down that Eternals trailer that dropped Monday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's Nomadland. As soon as it opened, I was like, "Hey, this looks like Nomadland."
An environment.
It's funny.
Real grass.
An environment. a close up in a field.
It's funny. Right under Eternals for trending was Nomadland. It's just hilarious how she does one movie with great visuals, and everybody's like, Nomadland. Yeah. I mean, she's filming outside. Every director does this or should do this. But it's just awesome. It looks very good.
It just doesn't look like the typical structure of camera work from Marvel.
Carson's lovable concrete look.
Yeah.
Patrick Williams asked me about my color grading shirt.
Yeah, and people were mad about the color palette. I'm like, this is literally how she shoots all of her movies.
I didn't see a problem with it.
I didn't. No, I liked it, and some people did have a problem, I guess, with some of the stuff. But I thought the visually, at least, it looked so good. And I loved that it was just people were like, oh, we didn't get any plot or whatever. I'm like, it's a teaser. We just got all the cool cool voiceover, some kind of shots that kind of showed us of them kind of in action, but not giving anything away. Just their abilities, kind of what's this mysticism happening?
Yeah,
and I'm very excited. So for the Eternals, a good teaser for people to read is Neil Gaiman's Eternals run in the early 2000s. It seemed like they're doing a lot of this because the big question on everybody's minds, where the heck were these powerful celestial born beings? Where were they during Infinity War and Endgame?
Yeah.
Well,
and they even say in the trailer, they're like, until now.
Yeah, until now. And there's the end of the world is coming. But I think they lost their memories.
Helped progress.
Yeah, they helped progress society a lot. And where were they? Why did they stop? What happened? But I think in Neil Gaiman's run, one of the characters you see in the trailers, name is Sprite. It's one of the younger versions. She has the ability to, like, with magic, mysticism, kind of like a Loki type character. Mm-hmm. She has the ability to take away people's memories. So I think either her or somebody takes their memories away, and that's why they turn to, like, they go back to their normal who they are. Yeah, the Stark brothers, Richard Madden and Kit Harington, teaming up once again. It's very funny.
And I was like, I didn't know anything about Eternals until, like, we started talking about it, and I just, like, watched some videos on just, like, Eternals breakdown. And, like, this whole origin thing of, like, these Celestials or whatever, they're, like, these giant, like, robot things that, like, created these genes. I'm like, what?
During Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I know. I forgot. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we saw it. And I'm like, that's super cool. And then there's, like, this deviant gene, I guess, that creates, like, this other thing. And I'm like...
Yeah, so the Celestials create the deviants to kind of be in charge of humanity. Yeah. Say, like, we don't want humanity to get out of control, but the deviants get too crazy, presumably, in this movie. And then...
which is...
They have the Eternals come in.
Interesting perspective. Which is an interesting perspective as well, because I know Angelina Jolie's character is a, like, cousin relative to Thanos.
Is she?
Yes.
Nina?
Yes.
Yeah, someone said that Thanos had the gene or something, which
he's a deviant. Thanos is a deviant. I
didn't understand what that really meant, but
Thanos is a deviant. These guys are Eternals. They're two separate.
Yeah, two separate races, right?
Races. Yeah. I think they're gonna try to make deviants kind of like the bad guys in this. Even the big bad guys are the Celestials, because Celestials don't give a crap about anything. Which it kind of seems like they're. What?
I'm not very serious, but will we see Thanos a little bit in this?
We could. I wouldn't be surprised. But
just be like, yeah.
It was just like passed down through genes.
Yes, his family, his race of people are Eternals or deviants. But the big bad guys for this Eternals and for the future of the MCU are the Celestials. At the end of the trailer, they look up to the sky and they see, like, yellow lightning in the sky. It
makes you wonder if, like, they're gonna use that as a stepping stone to Galactus, maybe.
Galactus, because Galactus is one of the biggest people where he's a Celestial. Celestials aren't evil in a sense. They're just like, it's the whole Loki quote from Avengers.
Galactus eating planets, man. Like,
but it's like the ant in the boot kind of scenario, right? Yeah. It's like, don't blame the boot for stepping on the ant. It's like Celestials are so massive. They're like, Earth is effing up. It's got to go. Silver Surfer, do your thing.
Like,
my boot isn't sending the Silver Surfer to ants to.
but that's Galactus' whole being. He can't stop it. He can't just say, like, oh, I'm just not going to eat planets today. Like, that's his. You have one job. That's to eat planets. That's
Wait, he eats planets?
You're destroying.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, I actually have no idea how Galactus is usually defeated at all. I never looked into it.
I think I'm not sure either. But maybe some
he walks in space. Like, I don't know. Like, it's all comics. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But yeah, so I think, like, one of the two things here, Celestials could be coming to Earth. And they might have to defeat that, because I think the deviants are going to be like what they fight during this movie, but the bigger threat could be the Celestials itself, because Celestials are the ones that created the deviants and the Eternals. But also, there could be, in terms of how they get mutants or how people get powers in the future, Celestials hidden in the ground. This has happened in a number of comics. It happened in Avengers comic books, happened in Eternal comic books. Celestials, when they... Obviously, in the trailer, Celestials came to Earth, right? And they, like, helped out with humanity. Celestials gave them Eternals, or Eternals came to Earth. But there could be a Celestial hiding within the Earth, growing. They're literally growing a Celestial being.
Ego!
As Celestial is growing, it releases cosmic energy. Cosmic energy grows throughout thousands of years over time. Yeah. That gives people, spoiler alert, mutant or inhuman abilities. That could be a small teaser for the future of the MCU. Huge ramification. If this movie does reveal that, hey, there has been Celestials sitting under this earth for a very long time, and those two Thanos snaps in Endgame back to back, those could really unlock some dangerous repercussions for the future of the MCU. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of implications for this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could go down. I'm really excited. And I'm not honestly at this point in time. I'm not very worried about the interconnectivity of the universe. I'm just like this. I'm fascinated to see what Chloe's gonna bring to the universe rather than just how it fits as a puzzle piece.
Yeah, it reminds me. I didn't really like the end credits of this trailer.
I hated
like,
it. There was the
who's
one
gonna
thing-
lead the Avengers since Tony?
Listen,
Since
We had-
Iron
this is a
Man
Marvel
and Cap are
We
trailer,
had
gone.
and
this
if you're-
beautiful trailer
No,
about like
dude,
this.
no.
This thing.
If you're at this point in a Marvel trailer that they're all the same, and you can't complain. It's just how it is.
I can. We're
I
23
can-
movies
I am-
in.
They're gonna
I
keep
am
doing it.
complaining.
They're gonna keep doing it.
Don't reference yourself. Like so literally that it yawns out the screen that I'm literally like,
I
Yeah,
liked it.
Granted, it's gonna work in the
liked it.
movie, but just like in the trailer itself, I'm like,
it was so weird compared to the rest of the tone of the trailer. I was just felt
Yeah.
jarred by it. Not to say it's bad. I just was. They set up this whole deal, and then all of a sudden,
They've been doing this
Also-
phase too, man. I'm like,
Yeah. Also,
I'm
though, going back to Noah's quote with the Stark reunion between Richard Madden and Kit Harington, it's funny. The last time Robb Stark met Jon in episode 1 of Game of Thrones, he's like, "Next time we see each other, like you're gonna be like in a suit of armor. You're gonna be wearing black with us." And in this movie, he is gonna be wearing black armor. Kit Harington is playing the character of, I think his name is Dan Whitman. He's playing the Black Knight character. And Kevin Feige, when they announced Eternals a long time ago, an interviewer asked him about Kit Harington wielding another sword in the MCU, and Kevin Feige had a lot of praise for Kit Harington. He said, like, we're introducing this character of Dan Whitman as Black Knight in the Eternals, and we have ideas for how he's going to spin off into other future Avengers movies. So I feel like this character is really going to be born here in Eternals, but then just spin off and like all these other things, because his name is the Black Knight. Very OP character. As long as he holds that sword, it's called. I'm thinking of the Necro sword because of Thor. Ebony Blade. Yeah, it's called the Ebony Blade. It can absorb anything. It gives him huge amounts of defense, near immortality, but he also has this curse too. This curse of not poison or something. I forget what it is, but there's some kind of curse. Doctor Strange is involved in the comic books. It's kind of like his Achilles heel because he is a bit overpowered if he has a sword. Granted, I don't think he's going to have like this whole sword and shield and Black Knight kind of thing in this movie. It looks like he is new to this as well. I could see him being like an Indiana Jones archaeologist kind of figure, and then by the end of the movie, he gets his sword, and then he becomes a Black Knight in like the third act or something. I could see.
Okay.
Also, there's a romance between him and Cersei, played by Gemma Chan. In the comic books and in the movies, she has a romance with Richard Madden. We might be getting a love triangle. I really don't want it, but there is a strong possibility we could get a love
I
triangle.
feel like the
between
trailer's
her-
really doubling down on the romance. in
Yeah,
this.
it was.
They were
Richard
like,
Madden.
they had like a match cut 3 times in a row of them.
them
like,
walking up to each other.
Very
yeah.
true, exactly. But then also in the trailer, we see her with Kit Harington in like this grassy field or whatever. So they are together. They spend some time together in the movie, at least with the what was it called? Screenshots when they were filming the movie. We saw a lot of Kit Harington with Gemma Chan.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people I'm excited for. Brian Tyree Henry, Kumail Nanjiani, who's doing some Bollywood dancing in the movie. He's an actor in this movie, which is pretty meta. Really cool. Again, because I think he lost his memory. He just becomes an actor to be with society.
Okay. I wonder if any of them ended up disappearing in the blip, or if they.
Very good question. I was going to bring that up too. I totally forgot. But yeah, there's a strong chance some of them could have disappeared in the blip, and that also helps out.
Perhaps Richard Madden
veterans.
disappeared, and that's why Kit Harington is now a Gemma Chan.
Ooh,
Oh.
damn, Nathan.
Nathan,
Okay.
that's good.
Let me write this shit down just in case he's right.
Yeah, well, I'm wrong about Loki, but
I
I'm
didn't
right
even
about
think
this.
about that, dude. That's a very good possibility. And then he comes back, and she's like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
this was
no.
my boyfriend going back 10,000 years." Sorry, buddy.
don't
Dude, I
want
would love that. I'm not a huge love triangle fan. I think it's bad.
Neither.
But with Chloe Zhao being on top of it, I kind of have faith.
Mhm.
That's a very good idea, Nathan. Wow. Best idea of the night. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Okay. And next in the Spider Verse, is it the
Oh,
Daily
man.
Bugle? Yeah.
I actually really love that idea. I didn't even think about that.
Hey. Like like developing plot on the spot. But
Sponsor us, Marvel.
there's a Captain America shield in the background and 2 scenes of both shields. Like,
yeah, does that mean Captain America's alive, guys?
no. Well, at some point in the timeline,
Somebody in the
everyone's
comments,
alive and no one's alive.
somebody in the comments said, like, the girl at the end of the trailer said that Iron Man and Cap are gone. She didn't say dead. She said gone. I'm like, are you serious?
What do you think
Like,
that means?
What do you think that means? They're dead. They're
Anyway,
dead.
Sam is leading the Avengers very strongly, and I love it.
Yeah.
He's still my choice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Otherwise, though,
Last thing.
I think we're mostly all hyped for Last Night in Soho.
Yeah,
Oh,
real
yes,
quick.
we
Yeah,
are.
I'm just really hyped. I think my favorite trailer of the year, easily.
I was like rewatching the trailers before we hopped on. I tossed on Eternals and I was like, solid. I like the end gag. Screw Carson. No. And then I moved over to Last Night in Soho and I was like, oh damn, I'm gonna break the replay button, and I did.
It's
like,
so good.
I kept replaying it. I was like, did anybody upload like the song alone? And they did, and I was like, I'm gonna blast this.
Dude.
Like,
The editing is just so.
Oh my god.
I can't describe it. It's just.
It's
Oh,
just
it
a
ends on
trailer.
that. It ends on that freeze frame, and then it cuts to the glass, and I'm like,
and it's like
Yeah.
it's like that still frame of horror from like the '60s, which
Yeah.
probably was in or something, and then just like, oh, it's so
Holy cow.
good.
in that shot of like when they dance, and it turns to Thomason, and it turns back to Anya, and it's
Flips through. It's so
Dude.
good. Or even like right when she gets there, like, and it's the first like mirror shot. I was like, I kept rewatching. I was like, their movement is so in sync. It's insane.
I know
Like,
it kept
it's
messing with me.
Yeah.
It's like, did you motion track yourself? I don't understand.
I can't wait to watch the behind the scenes of this movie. Hopefully, he does a
Yeah.
commentary. I'm just so excited for this movie. This is an insanely good trailer. I watched it. I was just like in awe. I'm like, this is an excellent trailer. We don't
Hardly
use
any dialogue.
hardly any dialogue.
And it doesn't look like anything Edgar has done before.
Totally.
So it's like I'm like, that's so cool for the director has made this many hits in his career and just to make something completely different from what he's done. Time travel and
Psychological
horror,
thriller,
psychological
horror.
thriller.
Yeah.
Give me it.
We don't usually see Anya in these type of roles either. Like, I think the one time she played like an antagonist was that one weird movie where she was like an experiment or something. I forget what it's called.
Oh.
But either way, yeah, she's like, I don't even know if she's playing a villain in this movie. She's just like,
What I think it actually is I think
What do you think?
like it's like a bridge, like mind bridge thing where like she's visiting like Anya's world and like being her like, oh, everything seems great, but I think Anya's like wrapped up in some shady stuff and she's probably like a murder victim of the time maybe, and so she has to like live like Anya's horror in that
but it
sense.
seemed like Anya's taken over Thomason McKenzie's body in the present.
Life
Like,
or yeah or something.
like
Does it?
Anya,
Really?
Anya wants to come to the present. Does it look like that? Remember?
No, I thought she was just like, I really like how I'm living this life. I want to bring it to my current life, and I think it was I was doing it that way.
like
Maybe
Thomason.
maybe it starts like that and then it goes downhill. I don't
It seems like Thomason McKenzie. She's like living. Just I'm gonna travel to London. Doesn't seem to have the best life. But then she sees Anya's life. She's like, I want that. And then things get crazy. I think Anya like wants to take over or so. I forget what the title cards in the trailer said. I don't know.
It's like the truth.
The
Which
truth
why I
is,
think it's like a past event thing that's like coming to fruition that she has to like live with it because like, all right, you want to like you be her, just live this too. Like,
yeah, but yeah, like there's some kind of huge consequence because like her eyes start to like she gets like the black outline in her eyes. Like,
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
I think
around.
the more she starts to follow in Anya's old past life, the worse like her health gets her. The worse.
Something's
like
up with, Matt
addiction
Smith,
or
man.
something.
Yeah,
Oh,
she gets
dude.
some kind of an addiction to it.
I
and
think
she's like,
so.
there's something bad because Anya and maybe Matt Smith's character too is like
Yeah, something's up. I think.
using this. Very interesting. I love when trailers tell a story. Like they tell
Yeah.
a self-contained story, and without any spoilers at all.
Yeah.
We're still guessing about what the plot of this movie is.
I
so.
do not need another trailer.
Oh
I'm
hell
already
no!
done.
I'm not watching.
I'm not
anything
watching.
else.
No.
No, no. It looks
I'll watch
good.
another trailer and then they'll be like, "Hey, it's only like 93 minutes." Oh, damn it!
Like, oh my god! It just looks insanely good. The costuming, the set design.
I already want to like edit a movie in the style of this trailer.
Oh yeah, same.
God, so cool.
It just, oh man, Edgar doesn't miss. I'm about to.
Speaking of which, what is the hate with Baby Driver? Like,
It's so weird. What happened with that?
I mean, it's probably because two of the cast members are iffy.
I watch
but it
Baby
wasn't
Driver
even
at
about
least
that.
twice a year.
The
At least
criticism,
twice a year.
yeah.
I love it. I can rewatch Seven. I can rewatch Baby Driver. I'm sorry.
I miss enjoying Baby Driver, but when the lead himself, and I was resonating with this questionable, it's kind of tricky, man. Like it's one thing. It's like it's one thing if it's like Bryan Singer's yikes, but I mean I'm not watching him in front of the camera, and I adore Days of Future Past like forever, but yeah, man.
I totally understand that.
But I don't think it's a badly made film. It's made wonderfully.
It's fantastic.
It was literally my I think it was my third favorite of the year in 2017.
Was that 2017? Damn, 2017
I know.
was great.
No, actually, I think it was my fifth because I had like Logan, Last Jedi,
I had Logan,
Homecoming.
Yeah, Last Jedi. Oh, Blade Runner, right? That was 2017.
Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
I had Last Jedi, Blade Runner, Logan. Baby Driver was like number 5, I think. I might still have it in my notes. But yeah, 2017 was a crazy year. Baby Driver was robbed of an Academy Award for tons of stuff.
Did it not get nominated for any sound category or anything?
I would hope editing.
Oh, actually, Baby Driver number 6 behind. I have Last Jedi, Blade Runner, Logan, The Big Sick, Apes, then Baby Driver.
Apes, my God, everything came out in 2017.
That was a great year, man.
Yeah, what a year.
What a year.
Picture.
What a picture.
What a picture.
But yeah, I just excellent trailers.
I'm not
You haven't
even
watched
say
it,
my
watch
ranking
it.
because I'm so mad.
Why? Why?
Dunkirk!
Oh no!
The year of Dunkirk!
That should be nowhere near your top 10. Top 10 worst of the year? Yes. 2?
Wow!
It's so good,
It's either
y'all.
over Logan or over Last Jedi. Either way, you're wrong. Which one is it, Carson? Which one is it?
I was over.
Which one
Logan,
is it?
not Last Jedi.
Or Blade Runner? Which one is it?
Dunkirk is
Oh, it's
better.
over both Last Jedi.
Oh my god!
Wow! What have you done?
I haven't. To be
I like
fair, I haven't
Dunkirk.
rewatched it since like 2018, probably.
It's not good.
It
Oh,
is,
it's
but
so
I mean, it's
good.
not that good. I'm not happy about it.
TLJ will probably. I mean, it's right in the top. It's in the top 5, and I have War of the Planet of the Apes over Logan as well, because that movie is a banger.
Those are next to each other for me.
Yeah.
You came to the podcast. You're gonna get Dunkirk, not Duncan. Dunkirk.
America runs on Dunkirk. Is that the?
Whenever I think of Dunkirk, I think of that terrible trailer they always had in front of it.
Call Me by Your
Terrible
Name
trailer.
came out that year too. God, that year was just nuts.
Ooh, do I have that in my top 10?
Get Out came out
my
that
number
year, too.
7.
That's not in my top 10.
Wow.
I did like Call Me by Your
Let's just
Name.
have a review of the year 2017.
There was so many good stuff in Call Me by in 2017.
Lady Bird was 2017, right?
You know, it's
That's my number 10, Lady Bird.
Shape of
So,
Water
Shape of
would have
Water,
been
yeah.
like a top 5 any other year, but it's like my number 11.
That's not in my top 10 either. But yeah, Shape of Water is excellent. I also have
Yeah,
it one
it's so
Best
good.
I don't
Wind
think I
River's
got
my
to
number
see it
7.
till closer to the Oscars.
Get Out was 2017, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shit. I have Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal too.
I
My
didn't get
top
to
10.
see that.
I still haven't seen that. I remember the poster because he's just like hanging on that.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
Great movie.
but it's
I
gonna
don't
be a
remember what we're
blast.
talking-
Oh, Dunkirk's in my honorable mentions for 2017.
Hey!
2017, Evan, was a different time. Different time.
No, we're gonna revisit it for a commentary. You'll be like, all right,
I was 22.
Oh,
21, 20. I can't count. Anyways,
Evan's like, oh, Tom Hardy in his plane. That's all he says.
he drove for 3
Vroom,
hours. We
vroom.
flew, and anyways, it's not good.
It is good.
I think that was it though. Real quick, I wanted to review last Saturday I saw Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder's latest film.
oh, I did too.
I had a great time with it. I had a lot of fun. No spoilers, of course. It's just a blast. It's a very fun movie. I clicked on it and it was like 2.5 hours. I'm like, Jesus, Zach, can you make a movie that's 2 hours for once?
Zach makes a 90-minute flick just off the cuff.
Please.
Yeah.
But
It's
it
just
flew
the
by.
style.
It flew by. I didn't like the opening scene. I think it's filled with a lot of dumb characters. It's very funny. But I liked the opening montage, opening credit sequence. I loved everything after that. The characters are very likable. Some characters are way more likable than others. There's one character I just did not like in this film, Dave Bautista's daughter. But Dave Bautista, speaking of that, very good.
So good.
So good. Such a great actor. I'm like, is this his best performance? What would
It
you say,
might be,
Carson?
honestly.
I think
It
so,
might be.
actually. Yeah.
It really might be. And yeah, he's definitely like, yeah, he's fan. I really like what Zach did with his character in this, and
he's the heart of the movie.
I think it really pays off. This movie is a little slow for me. At
Really?
times. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a lot.
The first act?
Yeah, it's just like a lot of walking around, and then like not much happens. But once it gets in, once they actually get to the destination, I think it picks up significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but some of the action stuff is a lot of fun. Some of the comedy really works.
Really works.
Yeah, it's a blast.
The best part about this movie is Zach really goes in on the zombie lore, which I did not expect going into this.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
very interesting.
I didn't like look too deep, but I saw there was some.
Nathan.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else.
There was some alien setup. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything
theorizing,
else.
But
the zombie lore is they're just he goes in on the depth. This isn't your Walking Dead.
That's exciting.
Scenario. These are some interesting zombies.
It's not just straight up, you're poisoned, go for the head. It's there's deeper.
No. I mean, go for the head, but yeah. But he goes in on it, and I'm very interested for more movies after this. I would love that. Army of the Dead was.
They're doing a prequel.
Curse on the Moon. I don't know. But
they're doing a prequel. Their prequel something. Prequel animated series.
Yeah, they're doing a prequel anime. Is it anime or animated?
Or both. There's two. I think there's two things coming from Army.
Does it have any? Is it within the world of Zach's previous Dead film?
No,
totally different. I still haven't seen Dawn of the Dead. I need to watch it.
I mean, I had seen like a plethora of things in our gap, so I can go like rapid fire. Saw Profile. I think the most recently. I actually found that pretty enjoyable, for what it was. I know there's better laptop films like Searching that I still have to watch.
Oh, you gotta watch Searching.
I know.
Was that 20? No, that's 2018. That's 2017.
That's 2017. The best year of cinema.
Yeah, actually,
2018.
Pixar film count.
Carson, don't tell me it's not in your top 5.
It's in my top something. It definitely is. But I'm thinking about the opening scene right now. I'm already crying because I know Nathan's gonna cry.
Jesus. All right.
The opening scene is heartbreaking, dude. I did not expect it.
Okay, I don't want to get too far off, but yeah, I found it interesting. I always feel like these types of films, ironically, like even though the big screen's the best, I feel like I need to watch it on my computer just to get engrossed more. But I found it pretty compelling, especially since it's based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen Wrath of Man as well, which I actually liked a lot better on rewatch because I was like, oh yes, okay, because I was going at first, I was like Guy Ritchie, Aladdin, Sherlock Holmes, this crazy wacky fun, gentleman, and all that, and then it was like, oh,
it's dark.
Yeah, it's dark. And then I got back. I was just kind of like killing time one day, and I watched it again, and I was like, it's pretty great, man. The soundtrack slaps. Oh my god, like
it does. I wonder how good it is on rewatch too, because a lot of the movie you're like piecing things together. So I would love to watch it on rewatch, see how it all fits.
It did make it more like interesting. I was like, oh, that is clearly that actor in that one
right?
scene. Like, yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, I was watching some other stuff like after the Oscars had already happened. Like I watched The Father. I was weeping.
I didn't know you saw The Father.
Yeah, I saw The Father, and I saw the like right after Nomadland. You guys like Nomadland?
I freaking love Nomadland, and I'm ready to
I know you do. Everyone does. Everyone loves Nomadland. I watched it. I was like,
it's a movie.
It's.
What are you like on, Evan?
I was copying what Nathan was saying. I love it.
I like how it was directed for sure. I don't think I was like super as engrossed as I could have been. But it's not a bad film. It's just I wasn't hooked as like much as other films. Now The Father, on the other hand, was creative as hell, and I was weeping. I was hard sobbing.
Oh, it's a horror movie. It's a horror.
It is, and dude, by the end, I was just like hard sobbing. And I was just like, I really hope my fucking coworkers don't walk in on me fucking dying of tears. Dude, it's oh my god. I'm glad I watched it in that order. No, nothing against Nomadland. I'm still excited for Eternals and stuff, but
I haven't seen The Writer. I need to see her other film, The Writer, as well.
Yeah, I
Chloe
should
Zhao.
check that out. Otherwise, that about like wraps up the most recent stuff I've seen. I'll probably check out some other stuff. I mean, Quiet Place and Cruella come out this weekend. I imagine we're all gonna catch them.
Yes.
Yep, seeing A Quiet Place on Friday and Cruella probably on Saturday.
I'm considering whether I'm gonna watch them tomorrow or maybe I'll just wait for my Fast Friday viewing because I do get my second dose of the vaccine tomorrow. So
Nice.
I'm like, do I just go straight to the theater or do I just go home and wait for like a slow death and
Jesus.
of my arm where it's just like, it's fine.
Yeah, the second dose really hits.
Yeah, it does, but not after like 8 hours.
Not for me. I was fine. Everybody else.
I was sore for
Evan is
he built different.
Evan's an eternal over here.
Your words, not mine.
Evan's directed by Chloe Zhao.
I am.
All right.
That got weird.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Or are we?
I think that covers everything.
Yeah.
Are we ready for family?
I think we are.
Family.
The movies.
The movies. Oh, we gotta change streams.
Yeah, we gotta change. You gotta upload that clip.
Oh, it's already ready.
All right. But yeah, that will about do it for us here over on My Cup of Tea. Shorter episodes because we're trying to get to the commentaries. It's actually keeping us on our time. I paid for more stream time and we're doing less.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's pretty funny. But that being said, Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at the movies this weekend. And
Ouch.
what else? On Twitter at the Film Carson. And yeah, just like, finally trying to catch up on some stuff. I've been trying to make like a summer watch list that I need to like catch up on, but it hasn't happened yet. So I think I'll go on Letterboxd tonight and after our
What happened here? It hasn't happened yet.
There you go. I'll start speaking. The temporal pincer diary of the watch
Thermal
list
oscillator.
Thing. Thermal oscillator. Oh, it's in base 87.
There's a brand new hole in that oscillator.
There's a brand new hole in that oscillator. Give it everything you got.
2 transports.
As long as there's light, there's hope. I don't know. What does he say?
Classic JJ.
Yamcha. Anyway.
Okay, I'm done.
God.
Cut
it off. You guys can find me on Twitter at Harris EV9.
That's TLJ.
Wow.
I love LOSD, man. It's great.
Anyways, find me on Twitter. Watching Quiet Place and Cruella this weekend. We got Hyperspace on Friday, talking the Bad Batch and some of those recent JJ comments. Oh boy. So catch us on Friday. We'll be back.
And
Fast and Furious.
Yes. Join us now for the Fast and Furious 2009.
I dare you.
I dare you. You can find all of our social medias linked in the description below. But that being said, if you enjoyed our podcast, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already. That being said, hope you have a great day, and may we see you at the movies.